Hello everyone, I'm Kajal Mehra from TimesTech, and today we are at Electronica Productronica 2026 at Greater Noida. And today with us is Mr. Shashwat. He is the co-founder and CEO of Mindgrove Technologies. Hello sir, how are you?
I'm good.
Okay. So first of all, I welcome you to this to our Q&A session, and I would like you to introduce yourself and your role at Mindgrove Technologies.
So, my name is Shashwat. I'm the CEO of Mindgrove Technologies. And Mindgrove is a fabless semiconductor company, which means that we design chips like the one that you see here, which we then get it manufactured outside of our organization, and we do the marketing.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for the introduction. So let's move ahead to the Q&A session. And my first question for you is, sir, that the Secure IoT M1, 80% of high-end features at a significantly lower cost. Which specific high-end capabilities did you prioritize to ensure the chip competes on performances rather than just price?
So, the chip, we actually prioritized a couple of things, and we got a couple of things for free by our priorities. So, we prioritized a small area. So, the smaller the chip, the easier it is to manufacture, the cheaper it becomes, with a high performance. So, we pushed the performance to 700 megahertz, and we used a particular technology node called the 28 nanometer, which means that every transistor is roughly 28 nanometers in size. And those two choices together gave us high performance at a low price, but it also gave us a high performance at a relatively low power. This is one major thing that we did. The second thing that we did was that we prioritized security. And what we did is we have security accelerators inside the chip, which means that things like cryptography are very fast. That again means that when you deploy it on the field, you have a secure, relatively fast and low power consumption device for a lot of background data that goes around, in a modern society, which truly should be encrypted and be done on the fly. You should not be waiting for these things.
Right. Perfect. So you have built your SoCs on the Shakti RISC-V core.
Yeah.
How has this open architecture helped by you customize security complexes and hardware accelerator? Different than your competitors.
Okay. So Shakti, actually there are two levels of open source here.
Okay.
The first is that RISC-V, as we call it, is an open source architecture, open source instruction set architecture. It is a recipe for how a processor should interact with the outside world. It does not specify how the processor is actually designed inside. And that is open. That is an international standard which is put out by an organization called the RISC-V Foundation, RISC-V International, which is headquartered in Geneva, to be neutral. RISC-V being open means that a plethora of downstream tools, compilers, development tools, third-party libraries get automatically ported to whatever chip you're making on RISC-V. The second level is Shakti, which was developed at IIT Madras, which is a processor core which implements the RISC-V standard. That is also open source. It is not just open source, it is our core because we are very closely associated with the lab that built it. And so we were able to take that and as an open source model and build on top of it to build the chip that we built. And that gives us, one is a cost advantage because we don't have to license very expensive processor IP. And it also gives us an advantage in terms of customization because we can take that implementation and we can tweak it. If you want a little bit less area, you can tweak it in a certain way. If you want more power, performance, you can tweak it in a different way. If you want security, you can tweak it in a different way. If you want Performance is not a straight line. It's not 0 to X.
We can
Performance
modify it
for
according.
a particular application while de-emphasizing another application. And that is the kind of customization and tweaking that you can do when you have your own code. And being open source, being Shakti, being an IT Madras code, it's effectively our own code in that sense.
Okay. So the V2600 Vision SoC has a very specialized ISP stack.
Yeah.
Are you seeing the more traction for this chip for industrial cameras that we call smart cameras,
Yeah.
or is there a larger play for you in the automotive sector as well?
The answer to that is yes to both.
Sorry.
The answer to that is yes to both.
Okay.
I won't hide the fact that we're going after automotive,
Huh.
but you can't get to automotive straight away. The requirements are much higher. The safety standards are much higher naturally because
Exactly.
you can imagine the safety requirements over there. But there is also a huge market for these things in cameras, CCTVs, different kinds of smart cameras, industrial cameras. And one of the key things over there is the ISP that you're building. We are building it internally to keep control of cost and also to provide certain features that we want to provide. Similarly, there are other parts of the chip that we are building from the beginning, from the first chip that we built. There are bits and pieces of IP that we are building, which is building up towards an automotive application.
So as a company, you call 28 nanometer the Goldilocks node for edge devices. Why is this specific process node the ideal choice for Mindgrove's balance of power efficiency and manufacturing cost?
So 28 nanometers is a, at this point, 12-year-old node. It launched in 2014.
Okay.
If you remember the cell phone that you had maybe 10 years ago, that was a 28 nanometer device. Its performance is never going to equal the 3 and 5 nanometer devices which you're getting in our cell phones now.
Yeah.
But its performance is great. It's better than what the embedded device market was actually used to. So they can actually do a lot more. And we are asking more of these devices. You're asking fridges to connect to the internet and cameras to have security built into them. So you need more power. But then you can't also increase the cost too much for that power. So 28 nanometers, being an older node, is also fully amortized as far as foundry is concerned. And we are not paying for development costs now. 28 nanometers offers a lot of other advantages like power. The smaller the transistor, the less power it takes.
Yes.
So that is important for a device which is intended to operate on battery, for example. But if you make your transistor too small, it's okay for a cell phone. It's okay for something that is going to go into a data center where it's controlled. But for a device which is going to be sitting outside on a traffic pole in various kinds of weather, and that needs to interact with, let's say, a 24-volt system outside, ESD, electrostatic discharge, and all of those considerations come in. Slightly larger transistors are more robust. So 28 nanometers offers you both reduced cost, better power performance, better speeds, but it is still one of the old nodes with larger transistors, which is very robust and reliable. So it can take a lot of punishment also. So performance is in so many different dimensions, and it slots into many of those dimensions.
As a company supported by MEITY TLI scheme, what is the biggest hurdle Mindgrove faces in moving from a design for a startup to a global high volume silicon supply?
So once you get your design done, the first couple of designs done, scaling 0 to 1 is a lot of supply chain issues. Like for us to design, manufacture, package, and ship a chip. Talk about 5-6 different supply chains that have to meet. And right now we're figuring that out. That is a challenge. once you meet that challenge, you are effectively um, that part of the business looks like a traditional business. It's just supply chain, getting the volume in here, pushing it out to customers. Visibility is an important thing, obviously. But other things are equally important, like having those customer relationships, having those relationships with suppliers and partners. So, all of those are things that we're figuring out right now.
So with support of Zephyr and free RTOS, how are you making it easier for global developers to migrate their legacy code bases over to Mindgrove Silicon at the SDK level?
So, it's not just the RTOS. That is a real-time operating system. It's a small operating system for a small device. FreeRTOS is one of the most famous ones. Zephyr is a new kid on the block, which is taking a lot of attention and moving a lot of. It's also open source, and it's moving a lot of applications which you traditionally used to be done on other things to Zephyr. It's beautifully well designed, and if we support Zephyr at the lower level, an application running on top of Zephyr does not actually have to rewrite a lot of their code to port it to a Mindgrove chip or to any other chip. Apart from that, we also support people by giving them IDs, integrated development environments. We provide a bare metal SDK which you can use to port your code. These are all different appropriate choices for different kinds of applications. So we support different kinds of codes, we support different kinds of development tools. All of these are different choices that different people will need to use.
Thank you so much, Shashwat, for your insights and giving us information about Mindgrove and their technologies as well. And thank you so much for watching us.